Hey, it's another video in English. And I wanna ask you a question. Am I the only one to get literal nausea from the idea of creation of like upperest cases or lowest, uppest cases of letters? Because all those implementations I see on YouTube virtually miss the real point of this case binary. So I'm here to explain why are they wrong? Why they are wrong. So, what's actually the case of letters? I won't go into the book printing beginnings to those literal cases where they stored their letters, like the smaller ones were literally stored lower. No, not that thing. I mean, why do letters actually have the distinction between them? This is a question for today. And the answer is because they preserve different historical styles of these letters. The uppercase letters are older in a sense. They come from the more like original, so to say, from the way the letters were carved into stone in ancient Greece and Rome, I guess. And these smaller letters came from people trying to write those letters with ink on softer materials, let's say, to not get into details again. Well, they were just simplified from the old letters, from the majuscule letters. So it was like this. Maybe we got this letter A and we tried to connect it to write it as a one stroke with a pen or a brush, and it somehow got simplified into those forms or something like this, because it was not only simplified in one direction but also then re-simplified, I guess, from these forms, having them as a starting point. So, for example, someone saw this as a letter A, and without knowing it was the same as that one, they could just draw what they see. They see a, well, ring of sorts and something on its back. And so, yeah, this is how we get. And from this, someone can try to replicate the exact curve here, and we could get this variant. And this is how we get the actual lowercase letters, from reinterpreting the older letters when moving to another medium, when moving to ink, to paint, from like literal stone cutting or what did they use in their stone ages? Of course, I mean, I know it wasn't stone age. I'm just running out of words. Like the letter D was something like this. Like this. And here is where we get, I guess, I suppose, R small d from this little hook right here. And what does it have to do with our question of the uppest case and the lowest case? I guess you already guessed. Because the uppercase reflects an older variant of the letters, and the lowercase reflects a younger variant. I guess it's possible to say that way. Yeah, sure. The uppest case must show the oldest form of the letter, just like so. And the lowest case is different in an amusing way because it must reflect the newest form of the letter. But today we have our letters standardized by schools, by typefaces on the computers, because we don't have to write as much anymore. And I think it would be possible to get ideas for the lowest case from some places where the printing press wasn't popular, and I don't know any of those places, so go find them yourself. I'm starting the new wave of upperst and lowest case letters, but I can't really make anything into it. So if we take the letter A, I don't really know how it gotten upside down actually, because the letter A comes from Aleph, and it in turn comes from some drawing of a bull's head, I guess, a head of a cow. These are the horns, and the face is here, but it's upside down. So the uppest A should be something like this, or maybe more realistic. If you ask anyone who saw a cow more times than one time in their life, I guess some drawing of a cow's head would be the uppest case for the letter A. And for the letter B, it came from something that I think it was a house in the Phoenician drawings. I think it was something that should resemble a house, maybe like so, and this is why it was divided into two parts. So I guess the letter B must look like a house when in its uppest case. And the letter C is coming from gamma, I guess. I guess it's coming from gamma. And gamma is from Gamal, Jamal. It's a camel basically. So let's make some hump here and a little head. And again, if anyone knows how to draw a camel, please volunteer to do it, because I literally don't know. So the letter C and the letter G, unfortunately too, is a variant of C and of gamma. So it should be also some kind of this thing, but I guess there was another form another source possible, another possible source for the letter gamma. It was like some stick or maybe whip for driving the animals. So maybe we could go with this, like a boomerang shape, and so on and so forth. I'd like also to mention letter M because it was literal waves of water. It was called mem, I guess. Yeah, it was called mem, and it was shaped like water, like waves on the water. And here we really come to an agreement with the Uppestcase enthusiasts that make their letters by copying and pasting any I forget any pattern they see in the letter. So making the Uppestcase M like a wall of spikes is kind of close because its original form was a drawing of water, of waves. So we can safely guess this is the letter M in its Uppestcase. Maybe like that thing from Avatar, The Last Airbender. Yeah. This is the letter M. And N, I don't remember, maybe it's a snake. I think it's a snake. And what about the lowest case letters? I think as we don't have much variation in the handwriting today, we could try to simulate some of the processes. Or maybe... damn, this doesn't work really. Because it gets merged into U, and so it, like, maybe we could put here some lid to distinguish it from U, and then, is it the digit 5? Okay, this looks really, really weird, because if we use here some lid to distinguish it from U, then U must go into just the 5 without the ceiling of this gorgeous digit. Also, we could draw some inspiration from other script variants that existed before the printing press. Maybe the insular that was popular in Ireland. I don't really remember how to do the insular script. I don't remember how do they do their letters. I only can say they make S something like this, and it's really funny because it looks like an R, but their R is this, so so it's not really confusable from their perspective at least. Or maybe some German variations. They have some really squiggly things. They actually look like like what? I don't know, like what? Like pretzels. Damn. Some funny letters they have. So this is my mumbled take on the lowest and uppest cases of letters. What I mean to say is stop just exaggerating patterns. Stop making hair comb letters. Stop this. Try to go into the history of the alphabet and project the history of the alphabet, not the contemporary coincidences. This is what I wanted to say today. Bye.